If the conditions are anything like I have here, you're going to have an absolutely amazing race. The water temperature is lovely, sun's out, it's feeling absolutely great to be in the water. Welcome to the 2022 Torpedo Cape. A special warm welcome to all of you that are new to swim run. We hope you have a fantastic experience on Sunday and enjoy this route briefing, and we'll see you all out there. Be safe. Well, the first thing everyone wants to know is what are the conditions going to be like. So let's look at surf forecast, and it's all good news. It's all blue. So on Sunday the swell energy is 677. Our safety limit is about 3,000, so we're well within the limits. If you're not sure what that swell energy, it's a combination of the wave period, that's the time between the waves, and the wave height. So the closer the period, the closer together the waves are, and the less energy they have. That's that's that energy that would like be a surge that would push you across the rocks and make it dangerous. And if we look on both sides of us on Monday and Sunday, it's all well below 1,000. So that's looking very safe. In April, when we had to make the safety call to postpone the race, we were looking at 10 to 15,000 swell energy. So luckily we're not facing that, and it's looking great for Sunday. Looking at YR to get an idea of the temperature, it's going to be in the mid-20s, sunny, that looks great. Wind guru to see the wind, all again a very good picture, light blues and greens, light southeaster, that just also gives us a bit of confidence, because if it's dead calm with no wind, you can always get a bit of morning mist. So this light southeaster is good from that point of view. And then the big thing is the water temperature, and this is a first for us. It's normally when we get down to Sandy Bay at the start of Torpedo Cape, it's normally hovering around 9-10 degrees, and it really bites when you get in. This year, as I said in that welcome video, it's about 15, 16, up to 17 degrees on our stretch of route. So that is extremely pleasant, and it's not applicable to you, but the people that are most excited about that is our skins athletes. So we've been doing this since 2017, and this is the first year we are allowing skins athletes to participate in Cape. There were about 20 of them, but as the races got nearer and nearer, a lot of them have dropped out. I think the enormity of the challenge, what they're taking on, maybe got the better of them, and they didn't want to be some of the first people doing it. But so we are down to 4 athletes who are going to attempt it. There's a men's team and a women's team. And if you are on Instagram or Facebook, just pop over to our pages, and there are some very cool good luck and inspirational messages for one of the ladies team, Kerry Ann and Brigitte, that's taking it on. So you can pop them a message and give them some encouragement. It's going to be an amazing race. I'm so excited for them, and it's going to be hard, no doubt about that. So looking at some details for Cosy, just some requirements. It's an individual race. The compulsory gear that everyone is required to wear is a wetsuit. Short arms and legs are permitted. You have to have shoes, and you have to bring your own whistle. All of you are required to complete the online ocean test and indemnity form. You would have been sent that before registration. That's a new introduction in 2022, and it just helps ensure that all the participants are on the same page in knowing how to communicate. If something were to go wrong, how to communicate effectively with the lifeguards. We've got lifeguards at every single swim along the whole route, both in IRBs, which is little inflatable ducks, with engines, and they're also on SUPs. So there's good lifeguard presence along the route, and that safety test just tells you how to communicate with them effectively if something goes wrong. It talks about the distances that you have in the race, the torpedo gear that we provide. There is an energy point on your route, so I'll get to this when I do the route flyover. It's only a couple of k's in, so you're probably not going to want it, but there is bootlegger coffee or banana bread if you want it, which is quite a fun thing to have, quite a fun addition to the race. If you've looked at footage from any of our previous races, you would have seen that some of the athletes have these swim aids that help them to swim. So my point here would be that if you've trained with it, definitely use it. They help. If you haven't practiced with them, I wouldn't recommend trying this on race day for the first time, especially the fins. We've had people who have tried to wear fins on race day, and what happens is on the runs you end up getting a calf cramp because you haven't practiced swimming with the fins. There's details of your distances, and then onto your schedule. I would recommend joining us on the Saturday. This is the day before the race. We're having a warm-up swim at Clifton 4. It really helps to get in the water the day before the race and just see what you're facing. It helps sort of settle the nerves. And then on to Sunday. So you're obviously all in Torpedo Cosy, but just an FYI, the people doing the longer route, there's another new edition in 2022, Torpedo Ops. They're coming all the way from Hout Bay. And then there are 3 batches of people doing Cape, and it's a reverse order start. So first the slow with the skins, and then the medium and the fast batch. Your times, check-in is at 8 o'clock, shuttle departs at 8:30, and the race starts at 9 o'clock. Excuse me. So just to give you an overview of your plan on race morning. So this is a view of your route. This is Tidal Beach over here. This is where you start, and this is Clifton 4. This is where you finish. All of you, it is complimentary and compulsory that you take a shuttle from the finish line to the start of your race. So you're all going to drive your cars and park at Clifton 4. You can undergo a equipment check. You're then going to get on a bus, and the bus takes you to the start of your race, and you race back to your back to the finish at Clifton 4. There are toilets at Clifton 4, so please use the toilets at Clifton 4. There are no toilets at the start line, so use the toilets. And there's also a key drop. So before you get on the bus, drop your keys off and then get on the bus. You get on the bus fully dressed, ready to go. That's in your wetsuit, your shoes, your yellow vest, your cap, your goggles. Don't take anything with you on the bus. That bus does not come back to the finish line. So you get on the bus ready to go, having gone to the loo and dropped off your keys. To look at a route flyover, so this just gives you a snapshot of the whole route. So that's the people doing Cape take on, or the people doing Ops. Firstly, they swim in Maori Bay, which is over there. That's from the Boss Shipwreck. They then run from this Otiskip Peninsula to Sandy Bay. The normal Cape route is Sandy Bay, Ladudno. This is the long Oticroll, and then they get to where you start your race at this Tidal Beach. So this is where the shuttles, or the bus rather, is going to drop you. And this is your race start. It starts with a first run. It's a flat run, tar road, and it takes you to the first energy point, which you probably, it's up to you if you want to take anything, at Bootleggers. There's a marshal who's going to be on the side of the road here. This is just a point to note. You run past the marshal. He will direct you past him. You run to Bootleggers, and then you backtrack on yourself back to that marshal. Then he'll take you down to this coastal stretch. This is a really fun and technical little bouldering section. It's quite slippery but fun rocks to run across. You go past the NSRI at Buckhoven, and then you get to one of our partners, Latitude Apart Hotel. They're going to be at Beda Beach. At the other side of Buckhoven Bay is Squirt Lube. So there's flags at the start and flags excuse me, at the end of the swim. If this is your first Torpedo, so just some advice is, before you start the swim, take off your goggles and just get a good look at where that flag is at the finish line, and get a good look at the rocks and the route that people are swimming to get there. You can ask the crew from Latitude Apart Hotel, what is the best way to swim and what route are people getting there. You can get some information from them, but rather get that information beforehand so you know what you're in for. Don't start swimming and then wondering why people are sort of zigzagging around the kelp and so on. And that's another thing at Buckhoven. There's a lot of kelp. There's no way around it. You have to sort of fight and bash your way through it. In 2017, one of the athletes got out at the end beach, and his comment was that was culpable homicide. And so there's a lot of kelp, and for those that have done Torpedo or swimrun over the years, they know that it's sort of part of the race. If you come from a triathlon background, in triathlon you'll get to a transition and it's all very sterile and all very marked. Swimrun is the opposite of that. Swimrun is a race through the natural environment, and part of the challenge is figuring out and racing through these natural obstacles. So you'll get out at the end of your first swim, and then you run to Camps Bay. We've got 2 partners in Camps Bay, Sparhout Bay and Cancer. Clifton Lifesaving will have dropped 2 buoys about 150 meters out to sea, and then 100 meters apart, another buoy, and then 150 meters back. So it's about a 500 meter swim. So from flag to buoy to buoy to flag, and it's done in a clockwise direction. And again, every swim there is going to be water safety on the swim. The runs are marked, except for, with the exception of from this Cancer flag to this grassy bank coming up to Maiden's Cove. This is where you use your own discretion of how to get along the beach and to this grassy bank. And so over the years, this has changed a bit. So Glen Beach, I think with big winter storms, has seen a lot of sand that's washed up and beefed this beach up, and also the slight side beach over here. So if there was an up-to-date Google Google Earth photo, this would be a bit of a different picture, in that you'd see more beach sand built up here. So in the past, athletes used to have to do quite a technical rock hopping section over the rocks over there, and then over the rocks over here at Glen Beach. What's happened now is that because there's a lot more beach sand here at low tide, and the race is going to be sort of midway between low and high tide, if it's safe to do so, you can just stay on the hard beach sand at the water's edge, and you can sneak by that. You'll probably get up to sort of knee deep. You can sneak in front of those rocks, and then again knee deep to these rocks, and you will see the Torpedo flags on this grass bank, and the route is marked from here. But again, this is part of swim run. It's finding your own way and finding the best way past these obstacles. So you have to get from the beach onto this grass bank, which is in front of you as you run along the beach. You'll see it. You then run through Maiden's Cove, and again, quite a technical little rock hopping section over here. The rocks get more and more sort of slippery as you get closer to the put-in. Some sections, you be careful. You can almost go on all fours just to make sure you don't slip as you sort of get down towards the water here. And again, at the start and finish of every every swim, there are flags. So you get to the Torpedo flag, and then you take on the last swim into Clifton, which is a fairly short, easy swim into the finish line at Clifton. So if this is your first swim run, we hope you have an absolutely fantastic time, and we can't wait to see you at the finish line at Clifton 4, and we hope all of you have a safe and enjoyable race. Cheers.